Sydney Kingsford ground. Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, ready for pushback with information whiskey. Juliet Alpha 6666 heavy. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
We would like to demonstrate some of the safety procedures and equipment of our aircraft.
Qantas 120 heavy, request permission to cross runway 7. Qantas 1 heavy, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha. Contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 16 right via Alpha. Qantas 1 heavy, Qantas 120 heavy. Cross runway 25, crossing runway 25. Qantas 120 heavy.
Sydney Kingsford ground, China Eastern 960 Victor Alpha, request taxi to Bay 8 at the international terminal.
Qantas 120 heavy, turn left next taxiway.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 918 Super, ready for pushback with information whiskey. Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 436, request taxi to Bay 10 at the terminal 3.
Qantas 120 heavy, hold short of runway 16 right, hold short of runway 16 right. Qantas 120 heavy, Qantas 120 heavy. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. FedEx 7757 Super, taxi to runway 16 left, hold short of 725.
Taxiing to runway 16 left, will hold short of 725, FedEx 7757 Super, Sydney Kingsford ground, 4 uniform Lima Juliet November, ready to taxi with information whiskey.
4 uniform Lima Juliet November, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha. Contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 16 right via Alpha, 4 uniform Lima Juliet November, Sydney Kingsford ground, China Eastern 960 Victor Alpha, request taxi to parking.
New Zealand 673 heavy. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. New Zealand 673 heavy. FedEx 7757 Super. Cross runway 25.
Crossing runway 25, FedEx 7757 Super, Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 918 Super, ready for pushback with information whiskey, requesting runway 16 right.
We remind you that smoking is not permitted on board, including
Sydney
the
Kingsford
toilets,
ground,
which are
Speedbird
fitted with smoke
503
detectors.
Super, request
For
taxi
now,
to Bay 8
please
at the
turn off
international
all
terminal.
electronic devices. Approved devices may only be turned on 20 minutes after takeoff and must be turned off 20 minutes before landing. Finally, please check
Qantas
that your
120
seatback and
heavy.
tray table
Please
are
follow
in the upright
instructions or you will be
position, your
reported.
headrest is stowed, and that your seatbelt is fastened. All hand
I'm
luggage must
sorry,
be either under the
Qantas
seat in front of
120
you
heavy.
or in the overhead compartment provided. Winaka wakalebo. That's Fijian for thank you very much. We invite you to sit back, relax,
Speedbird 503
enjoy
Super,
Fiji
taxi
time.
to International Terminal Bay 8, hold short of 725.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Turkish 0032, ready for pushback with information whiskey.
Turkish 0032, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Speedbird 5, stand by, Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, FedEx 156 heavy. Cross runway 25, Juliet Alpha 6666 heavy. Cross runway 25.
Qantas 436, request permission to cross runway 16 right.
Crossing runway 25, FedEx 156 heavy. New Zealand 673 heavy. Cross runway 25.
Crossing runway 25, Juliet Alpha 6666 heavy.
Crossing runway 25, New Zealand 673 heavy. Qantas 436 Sydney Kingsford ground. Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, ready for pushback with information whiskey.
Pushback approved.
Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, pushback approved. Mike India Lima Echo Sierra.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Singapore 222 heavy, ready for pushback with information whiskey.
Qantas 436, taxi to Terminal 3 Bay 10. Hold short of 725, Singapore 222 heavy. Hold position.
Taxiing to Terminal 3 Bay 10, will hold short of 725, Qantas 436, hold in position, Singapore 222 heavy, hold in position, Delta 6713 heavy. Sydney Kingsford Ground, Turkish 0032, ready to taxi with information whiskey.
Turkish 0032, runway 16 right, taxi via Foxtrot, Alpha, contact tower when ready, Qantas 120 heavy, request permission to cross runway 16 right, Singapore 222 heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Taxiing to runway 16 right via Foxtrot, Alpha, Turkish 0032.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, New Zealand 231. Request taxi to Bay 56 at the International Terminal, Qantas 120 heavy. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Qantas 120 heavy.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Cathay 138 Victor Alpha, ready for pushback with information whiskey.
Qantas 436, request permission to cross runway 25.
New Zealand 231. Taxi to International Terminal Bay 56. Hold short of 16 right 34 left. Taxiing to International Terminal Bay 56. Will hold short of 16 right 34 left. New Zealand 231.
Pushback approved. Cathay 138 Victor Alpha.
New Zealand 673 heavy. Taxi to International Terminal Bay 37 via Golf.
Pushback approved. Singapore 222 heavy. Sydney Kingsford Ground, Qantas 918 Super, ready to taxi to runway 16 right with information whiskey. Sydney Kingsford Ground, Delta 6713 heavy, ready for pushback with information whiskey.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, China Southern 891 Super, ready to taxi to runway 16 right with information whiskey.
Singapore 222 heavy, hold position.
Turkish 0032,
Flight spoilers extend, left 1, spoilers
China
retracted.
Southern 891 Super, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha, contact tower when ready.
Hold in position, Singapore 222 heavy.
Taxiing to runway 16 right via Alpha, China Southern 891 Super.
Turkish 0032, hold position.
Hold in position, Turkish 0032.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, ready to taxi with information whiskey. Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, runway 16 right, taxiing to runway 16 right via Golf. Alpha, Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, Cathay 138 Victor Alpha, runway 16 right, taxi via Yankee, Golf. Alpha, contact tower when ready. Singapore 222 heavy, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha, contact tower when ready.
Turkish 0032, request frequency change.
Indonesia 621, you're on an active airport. Please contact Sydney Kingsford Ground on 126.5.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Qantas 420, request taxi to the Qantas. Sydney Kingsford Ground, Qantas 918 Super, ready to taxi with information whiskey.
New Zealand 231, request permission to cross runway 16 right. Sydney Kingsford Ground, Swiss 155 heavy, ready for pushback with information whiskey. Requesting runway 34 right. UPS 69 Alpha Papa, taxi to runway 16 right. Contact tower when ready.
Indonesia 621, request permission to cross runway 7, taxiing to runway 16 right, Qantas 918 Super, Sydney Kingsford Ground, New Zealand 281, request taxi to Bay 35 at the International Terminal.
New Zealand 231, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. New Zealand 231, FedEx 7757 Super. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Taxiing to runway 16 right via Alpha, Singapore 222 heavy, Sydney Kingsford Ground, Qantas 420, request taxi to Bay 24 at the International Terminal.
Swiss 155 heavy, Hold position. Holding position. Swiss 155 Heavy. China Southern 891 Super. Continue taxi.
Taxiing to runway 16 right via Yankee, Golf, Alpha, Cathay 138 Victor Alpha.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 401, ready for pushback with information whiskey, requesting runway 16 right. Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 420, request taxi to Bay 24 at the international terminal.
Continue taxi, China Southern 891 Super.
New Zealand 281. Taxi to Y. Hold short of 16 right 34 left.
Taxi into Y, will hold short of 16 right 34 left, New Zealand 281.
Indonesia 621. You're on an active airport. Please contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5. Swiss 155 Heavy. Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right. Pushback approved. Swiss 155 Heavy.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 1, ready for pushback with information whiskey, requesting runway 16 right.
Indonesia 621. You're on an active airport. Please contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Delta 6713 Heavy, ready for pushback with information whiskey. Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 503 Super, ready for pushback with information whiskey.
Indonesia 621. You're on an active airport. Please contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5.
Indonesia 621, request permission to cross runway 7, Sydney Kingsford ground, All Nippon 210 Heavy, ready for pushback with information whiskey, requesting runway 16 right.
New Zealand 231. Taxi to International Terminal Bay 56. Hold short of 16 right 34 left.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Emirates 414 Echo Kilo Super, request taxi to parking.
New Zealand 281. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Indonesia 621, request taxi to Bay 31 at the international terminal.
Indonesia 621. You're on an active airport. Please contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, New Zealand 281.
Emirates 414 Echo Kilo Super. Taxi to Avia Alpha. 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 Hold short of 725.
Taxiing to Avia Alpha. 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 Will hold short of 725. Emirates 414 Echo Kilo Super. Sydney Kingsford ground, Indonesia 621. Request taxi to Bay 31 at the international terminal.
Indonesia 621. Cross runway 25.
Crossing runway 25, Indonesia 621.
Indonesia 621. Taxi to International Terminal Bay 31 via Alpha. Alpha. Hold short of 725.
Taxiing to International Terminal Bay 31 via Alpha. Alpha. Will hold short of 725, Indonesia 621.
Crossing runway 25. New Zealand 231. Sydney Kingsford ground. China Eastern 711. Ready for pushback. Requesting runway 16 right. Swiss 155 Heavy. Runway 16 right. Taxi via Alpha. Contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 16 right via Alpha. Swiss 155 Heavy. Swiss 155 Heavy. Give way to aircraft on your right. Give way to aircraft. Swiss 155 Heavy. New Zealand 231. Give way to aircraft ahead. Give way to aircraft. New Zealand 231. Emirates 414 Echo Kilo Super. Continue taxi.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Indonesia 621, request taxi to Bay 37 at the international terminal. Sydney Kingsford ground, New Zealand 148, request taxi to parking. Sydney Kingsford ground, Delta 6713 Heavy, ready for pushback with information whiskey.
Velocity 2404. You're on an active airport. Please contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5. Cathay 138 Victor Alpha. Give way to aircraft on your left.
Give way to aircraft, Cathay 138 Victor Alpha.
Indonesia 621. Taxi to International Terminal Bay 37 via.
Taxiing to International Terminal Bay 37 via Indonesia 621, Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 1 Heavy, ready for pushback with information whiskey, requesting runway 16 right. Sydney Kingsford ground, All Nippon 210 Heavy, ready for pushback with information whiskey, requesting.
Thank you. Good day. Mike India Lima Echo Sierra. You're welcome.
Crossing runway 16 right, New Zealand 281.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, China Southern 891 Super, ready for departure at runway 16 right, departing west.
China Southern 891 Super, hold short of runway 16 right.
Holding short runway 16 right, China Southern 891 Super.
Qantas 918 Super, with 210 at 6, runway 16 right. Cleared for takeoff, cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Qantas 918 Super, China Southern 891 Super, line up and wait runway 16 right.
Line up and wait runway 16 right, China Southern 891 Super.
New Zealand 281, contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5. Qantas 19 Quebec Romeo Heavy, exit runway when able and contact ground, please expedite, traffic on final. Sydney Kingsford Tower, Victor Papa Alpha Lima Bravo is at near to the right to the northwest of 2,000 runway 16 right, contacting Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5, New Zealand 281, Wilco, Qantas 19 Quebec Romeo Heavy, Victor Papa Alpha Lima Bravo, contact Sydney Direct on 126.1, contacting Sydney Direct on 126.1, Victor Papa Alpha Lima Bravo, China Southern 891 Super, wind 210 at 6, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, China Southern 891 Super.
Singapore 222 Heavy, line up and wait runway 16 right, line up and wait runway 16 right, Singapore 222 Heavy, Victor Tango Papa Romeo Juliet, exit runway when able and contact ground, please expedite, traffic on final. Qantas 918 Super, contact Melbourne Centre on 127.0, Wilco, Victor Tango Papa Romeo Juliet, contacting Melbourne Centre on 127.0, Qantas 918 Super.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, ready for departure at runway 16 right, departing east.
Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, hold short of runway 16 right.
Holding short runway 16 right, Mike India Lima Echo Sierra.
Singapore 222 Heavy, wind 210 Mike India Lima Echo Sierra.
Line up and wait runway 16 right, Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, Sydney Kingsford Tower, Swiss 155 Heavy, ready for departure at runway 16 right, departing west.
Swiss 155 Heavy, hold short of runway 16 right.
Holding short runway 16 right, Swiss 155 Heavy.
China Southern 891 Super, frequency change approved, good day. Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Singapore 222 Heavy.
Frequency change approved China Southern 891 Super, good day.
Etihad 92 Heavy, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway. Wilco, Etihad 92 Heavy. New Zealand 148, you're in an active airspace, please contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. New Zealand 148, request permission to cross runway 16 right. New Zealand 148, cross runway 16 right. Crossing runway 16 right, New Zealand 148. Singapore 222 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day. Mike India Lima Echo Sierra.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 16 right, Mike India Lima Echo Sierra.
New Zealand 148, contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5. Contacting Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5, New Zealand 148, Swiss 155 heavy, line up and wait runway 16 right.
Line up and wait runway 16 right.
80
Swiss
knots.
155 heavy.
Sydney Kings Fog Tower, Cathay 138 Victor Alpha, ready for departure in sequence at runway 16 right. Departing north.
V1. Rotate.
Frequency change approved Singapore 222 heavy, good day. Bay 138 Victor Alpha.
Positive
hold
rate.
short at runway 16
Gear up.
right.
Holding short runway 16 right. Cathay 138 Victor Alpha.
Swiss 155 heavy, wind 210 at 6, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 16 right. Swiss 155 heavy.
Air Belgium 386, Mike India Lima Echo Sierra, contact
V2.
Sydney departure on 118.4. Sydney Kingsford Tower, Air Belgium 386, inbound on the ILS runway 16 right. Air Belgium 386, number 1, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 16 right, Air Belgium 386.
Contacting Sydney. Thank you. Good day. Mike India Lima Echo Sierra.
Flaps 3. Gear down. Flaps full.
$2,500. 1,000. $500. 400.
Nandi International Traffic.
300.
India Lima Echo Sierra is on final. Runway 20.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. Retard. Retard.
Approaching the terminal, and it is for your safety that you remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the seatbelt sign above you is switched off. Do check your seat pockets and overhead lockers for personal belongings, and take extra care when opening as some items may have moved during the course of the flight. For any further
Flaps
travel
up.
arrangements, Fiji Airways invites you to visit our website at fijiairways.com. On arrival at the terminal, our ground handling staff will be the arrival force to assist you. Do not hesitate to contact them for any assistance you may require. We trust you've enjoyed our Fijian hospitality, and we thank you for choosing Fiji Airways and our codeshare partners Qantas, Air New Zealand and American Airlines. It has been a pleasure having you on board, and we look forward to being of service to you when next you choose to fly. And it's here we say Naka and Tika.
flaps, flaps.
Nandi International traffic. Mike India Lima Echo Sierra is clear of all runways.